Welcome back, everybody. Prost. It is now October. That means German Oktoberfest beer. Here we have a legitimate beer from Munich, Germany. This is Paulaner Oktoberfest. And this is the real deal. So let's go ahead and take a sample. Oh, I've got the force now. So what we're doing today, well, this will probably be filmed over several days, but we're gonna do some custom orders. So I've been getting a lot of orders for the big swim baits, and I know I do a lot of swim baits on here, so let me know if you're tired of doing swim baits. There's plenty of other things I can make that I need to make as well. But these are gonna be some really cool colors. I'm doing several different versions of rainbow trout. I'm actually doing a salmon color. And then we're gonna start with a color match of an already existing color. It's by Gambler Lures, I believe. And let's see, let me figure out what it's called again. It's called Icebreaker. So it's kind of a gold top with some gold flake, it looks like, and then a white pearl bottom with some green flake. So I'm gonna kind of do a version of that. But we're gonna do it in the 7-inch rocket hand pour, and the customer wanted 3 of them, so we're gonna make 3. I've never made this color. I've seen it a few times just here and there in bait stores, but I'm kind of excited. I don't think it'll be too difficult. So if you like this color, it'll probably be a good one that you can do at home, especially like if you're beginning the hand pour, or you can do it in injection. It's probably an awesome injection color to use with your twin injector. So we're gonna get started, but anyway, just wanted to film a quick intro. We have our Dead On Plastic Crawl Tube blend, which is what I've now prefer for the big swim baits. For a little bit smaller swim baits, and for creature baits and flukes and things like that, I'm still running the regular swim bait blend. It is perfect for that. The bigger swim baits, because they're a little heavier, I kind of discovered I needed a little bit firmer plastic, because when you're casting that heavy bait, kind of the weight of the bait flying would cause kind of the hook point to tear out, and everything. So anyway, without further ado, we're gonna get started. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And real quick, I want to share a tip with you guys. Your silicone will eventually wear out, okay? That's inevitable. You've seen some of my other molds cracked. So you want to take good care of your investment. And a good investment is Cast and Craft Mold Release Conditioner. This is a silicone conditioner. And especially if you pour often like I do, or you use heat guns, you know, that heat gun is drying out that silicone faster than it would. So it's not a bad idea to use a little bit of silicone conditioner, and this, you just hold it at a distance and you spray it in a fine mist, and then you get out a cloth and you just kind of work it in a little bit and let it dry. There are instructions on the bottle, and that will help prolong the life of your silicone, and it will actually add a little bit of gloss to your baits. So over time, you know, the glossiness will kind of decrease. This will breathe life back into your mold. And just real quick before we get started, I wanted to show you guys some really cool stuff I'm playing with. This is color shifting pigment. You'll see there's blues and greens and golds all just here in this one bait. And I've got it paired up with some dead meat custom eyes. And this is just a solid color. But in the water, I mean, you can see even more different colors come out. So we'll definitely kind of get some of this stuff on the channel soon. It's very expensive. I mean, this stuff's like $20 a gram. A gram is tiny. So I'm using it very sparingly, but we'll find out. We'll figure out a good way to use this. Maybe even in this video. We'll see. But just wanted to show you guys something cool real quick before we get started. All right, so let's look at this color again. So you'll see that gold top actually has a lot of brown in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix gold pearl, because the customer specifically said that he wanted a gold pearlescent top. Okay, so we're gonna mix some gold pearl with some colorant that has a lot of brown, but it's see-through, so it won't overpower the pearl, and that is, of course, you guessed it, MF Dark Watermelon. Blending those two together makes one of the prettiest shades of gold I've ever been able to come up with, and here it is right here. So we're gonna go ahead and get this stirred in. Perfect. And you can see how that pigment mixed with the powder gives you a kind of brownish gold, but it's still overwhelmingly pearlescent. And I think that is exactly what we want. So, perfect. Awesome, I'm happy with that right off the bat. Now, some small gold. This is 0.015 gold, okay? So we're gonna add that. See what that gives us real quick. Come on, baby. I'm told that, so I've been told that I stir backwards is counterclockwise. I mean, I guess technically that's backwards, but I just, nah, I can't do that. I have to do it this way. Perfect. I have a feeling we're gonna get this color really, really dialed in. Okay, and then the bottom is also fairly simple. This is a great like shiner slash shad color. It can kind of be both. So the bottom is going to be white pearl. Okay, no surprise there. That is definitely a white pearl bottom. And they're running small glitter and medium size glitter in the green flake. We're going to try it with just the small green flake and see how I like it. I just think that will look better in this big swim bait. I don't really know why, but that's just kind of what came to mind. So here we have the small green. All right, and I think we are done. Yes. Yep, that's all we're gonna do. Small green. All right. I think that is gonna do it. So now we're gonna heat these back up a little bit, and then we're gonna start pouring and see what we get. Okay, here we go. We're gonna fill it up to about halfway up the eyeball, like we normally would. Okay. All right. And this is actually just gonna be a 2-color laminate. Normally I pour 3-color laminates with a center line vein. That's what I've kind of done a lot of so far on here. This is just going to be a traditional 2-color laminate. All right, so this one will be a little simpler to pour in theory. So yeah, I'm actually quite happy with that bottom color. So we're going to let those sit for just a little bit, then pour our top layer, and we'll have some baits. Okay, here we go. That nice and filled in. We actually had a little bit of mixing on the top there, which means that that front part wasn't quite set up enough, so I may have poured this top layer a little early, but that's okay. Gives it a little character, huh? Yeah, nice and slow. It's always better to pour slower than faster. Even if you really want to pour fast, it's still, I think, in your best interest to take your time. Alrighty. Okay. We're all set. Okay, let's see if we got close. I think we probably did. Hot, 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 hot. Yes, look at that, guys. There it is. Oh. Yeah. Right on the money. I love it. I've never made that color, especially not in a big swim bait. Well, actually, especially not in anything, because I haven't made it at all. So yeah, I'm a fan. That would be, what could I do this in, like on the reg? Comments below, guys. What do you think this color would excel in? A jerk bait, swim bait, a frog, fluke, worm, crawl. I think it looks pretty good just like it is right there in a big swim bait. But yeah, I'm digging that. That's not bad. And I'm glad I matched it the first time. I like the little flake. I'm glad I didn't put big green in it, or larger green. So yeah, what do you guys think? I think that's pretty much a dead-on match. Get it? Dead on plastic? Yeah, that's it, guys. Boom, one down. Now we just need to figure out a good eyeball for it. Okay, so next we're gonna start our rainbow trout, and I have to do like 2 or 3 different versions of trout. So in fact, these next swim baits are actually for Dead Meat Customs. The eyes. So a lot of the eyeballs that I use are made by a company called Dead Meat Customs, and he reached out to me today actually and ordered up some doozy of some swim baits. I mean, these are going to be great. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So this is a basic rainbow trout color. I've already kind of done this exact version of it. So we're just going to shoot through it real quick. I'm just going to kind of breeze through it, and then we'll get on to some of the other trout patterns that we're going to do. They're still rainbow trout, but we're going to alter the colors a little bit, and he wants a few different things. Okay, so real quick on these first trout, just a little bit of white pearl mixed with the large black flake, 0.062. We're going to pour in our bottoms here. Again, just past that back fin there. So if you buy this mold and you want to start pouring laminates, that's a good way to kind of gauge where you need to pour, is let the plastic go just past that bottom fin. Just make sure that it fills in the bottom fin, then you're good to go. Okay, time for our pink lines here. Okay. All right. And again, I like it to go just past that tail. All right. Now on to the next one. And I know the shadows are a little tricky in here. I need to figure something out for that. I want you guys to be able to see everything with decent lighting here. But that is tricky. Okay. Because the light kind of comes from the right side in my shop, and I'm sure that can be tricky on my angles here since I'm right-handed. But that's like the only good place I can mount a light. And time for the top green color. Get this poured in here. I poured this green very light. This is not a very thick mixture. So I'm hoping that it kind of has a little bit of see-through quality about it, to where it will, you know, that pink line will kind of play tricks on the eye when you look at it from certain angles. That's kind of the thought process. Whether it'll work or not remains to be seen. But generally, when you're pouring these big baits and you mix your colors really light, you can get some cool effects just from being able to see through your bait. It's kind of hard to explain. Okay, let's try to get one of these out. See how we did. Still a little warm, but gorgeous. And I tell you, I like the fact that I went light on the green. I think that just has a cool kind of see-through vibe. Yeah, you can kind of see some pink from the top. I think that just gives it kind of an extra uniqueness about it. So I'm a happy camper with that right there. We'll get out the next one. Okay. And if you'll notice, when I take these baits out of the mold, I don't just rip it out. because I'm trying to avoid backwards bend in the tail, because you don't want your colors to laminate. So if you'll notice, I always get the tail out first. This is just something that I do with these silicone molds. If you're using two-piece aluminum pour molds, then they'll just separate. But with this, I like to kind of spread the mold, get my finger up under those layers like that, and lift up. That way I'm not putting stress on those layers. So, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. On to the next ones. Okay, so we have our next round of trout laid out, and they're gonna be very similar to the ones we did before, or earlier, but he wants a darker green on the top. So, we're gonna blow his mind a little bit, and we're gonna use some of this $22 for this little teeny pathetic container color shifting pigment. Okay, so there it is right there. And we're not gonna add a whole lot, A, because it's expensive, and B, because I don't want it too thick. I'm not super familiar with this stuff yet. However, you're about to see this plastic become, I'm not gonna do that. You're about to see this plastic become absolutely incredible looking. Okay. Yeah. Let's kind of look at it there. Look at that. It turns it into a color paradigm mirror. We're actually gonna add a smidge more. All right, that should do it. Again, I want it to be a little see-through. Okay, but this kind of does go along with the darker green top. This is a darker green, so I think this is appropriate to use. Okay, and we're gonna add a little bit of the big black flake. Again, you know, rainbow trout have a lot of black dots on their body. That's kind of what they're known for. So we're gonna keep consistent with that. All right, stir this in one more time. Okay. Yeah. That is awesome, if I do say so. All right, now we're gonna heat it up a little more and then pour the rest of these baits. Alrighty, here we go. Here is our color shift magic. Okay. I'm in love already. I just got this stuff recently, so this is the first time I've used this expensive color shift on camera. So I hope you guys enjoy. I've been wanting to get some for a while. It's just expensive, and I finally pulled the trigger. It's one of those things that you don't want to buy unless you're sure that you can use it properly, because you don't want to go wasting a bunch of this. So I kind of wanted my bait making to get a little better before I invested into this, and you know, some expensive lure eyes and things like that. You know, I didn't want to buy things and then waste them, because that would just be terrible. Okay, I am really excited for these, but first we went back to our most, I would say this is my favorite beer, Hackert für Oktoberfest. I probably butchered that, so if you live in Germany, if I pronounced that wrong, I am sorry. Okay, these are gonna be cool. I am pretty pumped to see this one. The color shift green for the top of the trout pattern. Oh yes. Just kind of look at the way it kind of plays tricks on you. Oh yeah, it's like blue from one angle. Look at that. Yeah, you can kind of see some of the blues in it, and that's mixed up very thin. Yeah, you can really see the color shift on the side there. Yeah, what do you guys think? I think that is pretty stellar. Let's get these other ones out. These have been sitting for a while. I went and ate dinner, so these have been in the molds for quite a bit. Yeah. Let's see, we're gonna set those down. Let's get this third one out here. I slightly over poured this one, but that's okay. Yeah. What do you guys think? Color shifting rainbow trout. And just to contrast it, that's the first one. So he wanted a darker green and he got it. And he got the color shift green. And that's a little waterlogged right there, but that's kind of the idea. Okay, so the next thing that he wants is this, a salmon. So they kind of have a green gold head. I know that doesn't look very green on here. But we're gonna make the green a little more pronounced. And so he wanted sort of the, you know, the red salmon body and a more pink orange tail. So we're actually gonna use some of the things that we already have. So we're gonna make the head of this bait, the front of this bait, the same green that we used here, okay? The color shift green. And that's what we're gonna kind of pour into the mold first. So we're gonna kind of pour green heads at an angle, and then we're gonna pour a lighter pink orange tail, all right? And then we're going to melt those down with the heat gun, tack them up, and then we're gonna pour that reddish orange body. So we're gonna use these kind of like we already have, and then I'm gonna heat up some new plastic for the body. I'm gonna use some non-bleed MF red and kind of go from there. So this is gonna be pretty crazy, so wish me luck, guys. Okay, so what we're doing is we're just kind of angling our mold here, and we're just pouring the head, and we're just kind of filling it up about right there. Then we are, that's probably sort of off frame, but we're kind of lining them up on these molds right here to keep it in that position while that plastic sets up in the nose, or in the front of the bait. Okay, and that's how we're gonna get our green head, and hopefully that doesn't look bad. Okay, so now we have the molds kind of set up, angled in the other direction, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of orange to that pink, very carefully. We're just gonna kind of fill in our tails, just kind of at an angle here. Yeah, just kind of get it best we can. All right, this is kind of an interesting little technique here, angling your molds to, you know, pour different colors in different spots. Done this a few times on the channel, I don't think with this mold yet, so again, a little bit of experimentation here, but fingers crossed that this doesn't look too bad. Okay, we are done heat gunning here, and now we're just gonna fill it in with this red color and hope that this looks okay. Just gonna fill in the back of the tail a little bit. Perfect. Yeah, just wanna really do our best to make this a nice clean pour. All right, and now we're gonna start on this other one here. I won't show this whole process, but that's what we're doing. We're just tacking up both sides of this. That way we get a strong bond, because these have been sitting a while now. So that plastic in the tail and in the nose has had a considerable amount of time to set up. Yeah, here's one right here that has more of a green head. So I wasn't completely crazy, right? I definitely think I got the color profile pretty close. You know, it's just an issue. Yeah, here's a real green head. Look at that. You know, I'm really not that far off. Just that red and everything is maybe a little more pink in the body. But you know, then you look at other ones and it's more like that. So I don't know, that's just a placeholder eye that's not actually attached yet, but I just wanted to get an eye on it to see kind of what I'm dealing with. So I send him a picture, and if he likes it, we'll keep it. If he wants a different direction, then I'll have to do something else. But as far as this video is concerned, that's what we're making today. Okay, so here's what we have. We have our icebreakers from earlier. Okay, looking good. I think those turned out great. That is just a silver hologram eye, which I think goes really well. Here we have our lighter color rainbows right there. Same eyeball. I love how you can see the pink through the top. I think that kind of gives it a really natural, classy look. All right, and then the star of the show tonight, when you're making baits for the owner of Dead Meat Customs, you gotta use at least a few Dead Meat Custom eyes. So this is, look at that from the top. Just look at all the colors going on. You have the color shift and you have the pink. Just this is one of my favorites I've ever poured. So yeah, the color shift rainbow trout with the dead meat eyes, and then I haven't heard back on my salmon here, but I tell you, they're actually kind of growing on me. I'm not sure what eye I would put on them, but we'll see what he says about those. They were fun to make, and you know, if he doesn't like them, not a whole lot's wasted here. You know, that maybe took 20 minutes, and a lot of it was left over from what I was already doing. So if he wants to go a different direction, we will. But yeah, there is today's custom order, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. And please shoot me some comments down below and let me know which ones you like best.